Breaking news this evening, the decades-long manhunt for one of the most wanted terrorists in the world, Ayman al-Zawahiri, the leader of al-Qaeda, who on 9/11 was Osama bin Laden's second in command, is over tonight. He was killed in Afghanistan by the CIA, according to multiple reports, in a drone strike which had no civilian casualties. President Biden spoke about it just hours ago.
On Saturday, at my direction, the United States successfully concluded an airstrike in Kabul, Afghanistan, that killed the emir of al-Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri. He was deeply involved in the planning of 9/11, one of the most responsible for the attacks that murdered 2,977 people on American soil. He had moved to downtown Kabul to reunite with members of his immediate family. After carefully considering the clear and convincing evidence of his location, I authorized a precision strike that would remove him from the battlefield, and there were no civilian casualties. No matter where you hide, if you are a threat to our people, the United States will find you and take you out.
Now, there have been many al-Qaeda leaders killed who've been billed as the top al-Qaeda leader, but this is different. He was truly the most wanted al-Qaeda leader after Osama bin Laden. 71 years old. State Department was offering a reward of up to $25 million for information directly leading to him. He was a senior advisor to bin Laden at the time of the 98 bombings of the U.S. embassies in the capitals of Kenya and Tanzania that killed 224. He helped plan oversee 9/11. He was also in control when al-Qaeda attacked the USS Cole in 2000, killing 17 U.S. service members. After 9/11, Zawahiri fled with bin Laden to Pakistan's tribal region, where both, now with bounties of $25 million on their heads, went into hiding. He took over as al-Qaeda's #1 in May of 2011 after the killing of bin Laden. Joining me now is Kirk Lippold, who was the commanding officer of the USS Cole when it was attacked. Thank you, sir, for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. So how big a deal is this?
Well, thank you for having me on your show, Dan. And it really is a big deal because it shows that the United States is going to be relentless when it comes to holding these terrorists accountable for the murder of Americans, and that we will go to the far reaches of the world. We will patiently bide our time when we have to, and then do what's necessary to hold them accountable.
Do you view this one as almost a little personal because of the USS Cole?
Absolutely. I mean, let's face it, that when it came to the attack on USS Cole, which was 11 months before 9/11, both bin Laden and al-Zawahiri were intimately involved in the planning and knowledge of what was going on. And while there may have been some discussion regarding al-Nashri, who's down in Guantanamo Bay today, awaiting trial, we will ultimately seek to hold everyone accountable. And to date, with the exception of al-Nashri down there, we've held them accountable, and now we've held al-Zawahiri accountable, which is a great victory for the United States.
And talk to us a little bit about who he was. I mean, for people who aren't that familiar with who he was, why was he viewed as one of the worst of the worst, if not the worst of the worst?
Well, he was a brutal murderer from the beginning. He was associated initially with the Brotherhood in Egypt, and then became part of al-Qaeda and essentially became Osama bin Laden's right-hand man. He was involved in truly the operational details and planning that resulted in the deaths of Americans in the embassy bombings in 1998 in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and Nairobi, Kenya. He was involved in the planning that resulted in the attack on my ship, killing 17 sailors and wounding 37 more. And then ultimately the 9/11 attacks, which resulted in the deaths of thousands of Americans. So this was a high-profile, high-target terrorist that the United States had to invest the time and the resources necessary to eventually hold him accountable, and it's very good that we did.
And what was your relationship with the Cole at the time this happened?
At the time that the attack occurred,
yes,
or when
at the attack? Yeah.
Well, I was the commanding officer on USS Cole on the morning of October 12, 2000, when it was attacked by al-Qaeda terrorists,
right.
And Zawahiri had been involved with that.
Right. I mean, I just wanted to clarify that, just because this does make this such an important event, I would think, for you, that this guy has been captured, because I've got to believe that is a day that's seared in your memory.
Absolutely. For me, October 12th will always be part of the fabric of my life. It fundamentally altered the trajectory of where my life was going to go. Everything after that really for me became about preserving the memory of the heroism of my crew in saving that ship, but also for the families as well, knowing that they had 17 sailors that paid the ultimate price for the freedom that we as Americans enjoy. And so it is personal. It will remain personal. There are still other terrorists out there to mean to do us harm. But just like President Biden said, we will find them and we will do two things. Capture them or kill them.
Sorry to interrupt you, but my next show starts. Kirk Lippold, such an honor to have you on the show. I appreciate it. That does it for us tonight. Banfield starts now. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.